link was incorrect. So.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. I'm here now.
So you're here now. So then with Cam and Linda and myself on, we have a quorum. So I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:41.
Okay. What happened with this? It's confusing.
Yeah, I think Lola sent out the email, but she had inserted the P&Z Zoom link,
Oh,
not this link.
I see.
Uh,
I see. Okay.
So, but the agenda had the correct link. So in any event, I think Susan will be coming shortly.
Okay.
Let me keep going and just say from an attendee standpoint, it's Linda, Cam, myself, and also on Robin Bates Mason and Lynn Avneet is in. And I got to just check and see if anybody else is attending. I think Tucker is the meeting host. So that's it. Okay. First order of business is to approve the agenda from September 10th. Do I have a motion to approve?
Approve the minutes?
Yes, the minutes. My apologies.
Yep, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
I second.
Any comments or discussion points? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Approved. Thank you. Okay. Into the agenda. We'll move through it pretty quickly, and I want to leave time for any comments that you all want to bring up. Hang on, my screen froze, so I get back in line. Is that Susan who came on board?
Yes, she should be joining right now.
Oh, good. Thanks. Thanks, Lynn.
You're welcome.
Got it. All right. Susan, just speak up when you get in.
I got in.
Congratulations. Thank you. And apologies, it looked like we had the wrong message, wrong link in the email with the correct one in the agenda. We have already approved the minutes from last month, and we're just starting on the agenda. So thank
Okay.
you. First,
I have one question.
Sure.
Chris, about the minutes from the special meeting.
Yes.
We did not have a quorum. You were the only one there.
That's right. That's right. And I wasn't certain, well, to be honest with you, I wasn't certain why it was a special meeting called, other than I think it's the procedure when one commission meets with another. So in any event, yeah, there wasn't a quorum. So was there a meeting? I don't know. But I was asked to put together a brief agenda.
No, I appreciate what you did. I'm just not really sure
Hi.
whether we really actually need to approve those meetings because we weren't there.
Yeah, right. Which is why I didn't put it up for approval. I think only I can do that. So, and I think my name is the signatory.
It's fine.
Okay, but thank you for that. And procedurally, I just kind of went along with what we were advised to do in calling a meeting. I think it has to do mostly with the public attendance, and that if I had invited you all to that meeting, it would have been a special meeting. Whether you attended or not, I think it was the second order issue.
It's
but the
all
first one,
fine.
yeah. Okay. All right. I want to just start on the discussion points. Robin, you're on just briefly on sustainable New Canaan and the progress we're achieving.
Okay, so I just got a note back today from Jessica at Sustainable Connecticut. We have some items which need to be revised on our application. One of the bigger items to be revised was the solar panels, because we didn't have the data yet to give them in kilowatts per hour. They're not accepting revisions of that because it's too big, but they're allowing us to revise some smaller items because they said we're close enough to certification. So we might be certified this fall.
Mm-hmm.
one of those items has already been revised, doing another, but this next week, they're gonna start going over what needs to be revised and not. They only allow communities which are close to certification revised, so
Mhm.
I guess that's good. So that's where we are right now, and revisions are due October 16th.
It's a real nail biter.
If not, we'll get it for spring.
Sure,
But
sure.
once we're certified, it's 3 years. So if we do get certified this fall, the programs going forward that we're going to start looking at to do will be long-term projects with long look-back periods rather than 1-year look-back periods.
Got it. Congratulations on the food recycling, food scraps recycling project. That was remarkably quick and I won't say easy, but remarkably quick.
It kind of shocked me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was technically 4 days. I think we're saying 5, but I think it was really 4 days. We had a lot of actually groups, New Canaan Moms, Walter Stewart's Garden Club, who made donations, as well as about, I think, 34 or 40 people. So can't remember right now, but yeah, we're happy. People want this in town, so that's great. And we've been getting calls from other towns
Right.
asking how we did it. So that's nice. Looking
Yep.
for help.
Just a question on that front. We had set aside $1,400 towards this program. Is it your sense that you won't need those dollars and that they should be put back into the sustainable kitty for another potential project?
Yes, we don't need that money. We have the match. We've covered, with the money we raised in the match, we covered the budget for the pilot year, plus signage and educational flyers or pamphlets that we printed out. So that money can go back.
Okay, because then it would suggest that we have $6,500 that we can allocate towards the next Sustainable Connecticut, next Sustainable CT initiative.
Whatever's left in the budget, yeah.
Right. So just keep that in mind as you go forward, which means we could be more aggressive or more whatever kind of program we could come up with.
Well, we'll discuss at our next sustainable team meeting, but some of the items, the people are going to be looking through them, and some of them may need budgets. Something I'll bring up to the Conservation Commission for next month is Channel 79 is we're looking to do a bike education program, which is part of Sustainable Connecticut, and that would need a budget. I just need to find out how much. So yeah, there'll be items, but the 1,400 can go back.
Right. Well, that's pretty exciting, because that could also be the biking could be start as part of the complete streets kind of concept. And that might be a way to bring it in. And then we could allocate some of that money towards getting the first program up, or at least the piloting of that program in. Well, I leave that in your court.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that. A quick update on river testing. I got a note from Dr. Sarah Crosby from Harbor Watch, and they have now finished the testing of the Norotan, Silvermine, and Rippewam rivers, but they're analyzing the data and will get back to us on it. Secondly, they have engaged with the New Canaan High School Science Club, and they'll be working with the students on testing projects over the coming school year. And then lastly, they are going to get some state funding for continued river testing, but they will probably come to the Conservation Commission for a small grant in order to be able to do all 4 river testing. And I simply put that in as a heads up that will be coming. On solar power, I'm not sure if you all saw the update from Mark Robbins, but now the data is starting to churn in pretty nicely. on the kilowatt hours produced by solar. And it's kind of an impressive, you know, if you look at the total amount saved, on the yield and the amount of carbon, CO2 avoided, it's quite good. I can't say that we're looking at the economics of solar production, but the fact that we're now tracking the numbers, have them in graphic form, means that we will be in a position soon. I think when we get probably a year end, it might make really good sense to create a solar update report year end for broader distribution to the town, to let them know we're working on this. And I think we can bring it in under the sustainable CT heading as well. You know, we can capture a lot underneath there. I'm going to just skip on complete streets. On transfer station, again, I've reached out to Tiger Man and Christy Reedy to get a date in the calendar. I haven't gotten it yet, but I think I ask once every 8 days to see if we can get something. So I'm going to see if I can get a couple dates in. And by the way, when do you think you'll start the food scraps program, and when can we can now go get containers and biodegradable bags?
Right. So what we're doing is we're hoping it's going to be the end of October. Tiger said today that they're all set to go. We should be getting the money from Sustainable Connecticut. Katie Owsley of Plant New Canaan is handling that. Once we do, that will go to Tiger for restrictive fund for the food scrap collection. But he already has the location and space. Plant New Canaan is just working on the signage right now because that will be paid for through the funding. Once that gets the approval from Tiger, I think it's about a 2-day turnover time for the signage. We are not, as a town, or when Plant New Canaan met with Tiger, we agreed not to sell the composting buckets just because of the amount we had to order to be in the minimum, and some other towns still have them, haven't sold them. So we reached out to Weed and Duryea. They are selling compostable liners, which are acceptable, and compost pails. And then we're working with some volunteer groups to go out and sell the curbside compost big buckets that you can take to the dump the transfer station yourself. But we won't hold inventory on those. Those will all be curbside compost. We'll deliver and then pick up what we haven't sold. So we'll set up some dates. There's high schoolers that would like to sell those. So we'll set up some dates in town to do that.
Great. And then there will be flyers published or made available at the transfer station to say, this is what you can put in, this is what you shouldn't put in, or kind of thing.
Yeah, there'll be a large sign that says, you know, what goes in, what doesn't.
Yep.
We're looking to make flyers to hand out to people that they could put in drawers or something to keep. I think Sven England said it the other night, if you can't swallow it, it shouldn't go in. So I think that's pretty apt. So yeah, so and then we'll be doing education. We'll be in the chamber window starting next week. And
Oh,
we'll
great.
have education about.
Great. What a great program.
A few places.
You've run a great program there, and you and Kate, that's great.
Okay. Yep,
Okay.
thanks.
Cam, Linda, Susan, any questions regarding Sustainable Connecticut, the program, or any other of those topics?
No,
No,
Okay.
it's great. Thanks.
it's great progress.
Yep. Okay, and then I'm going to give a update on Brista. Oh, actually, before I do that, I did want to let you know that with Susan's help, we sent a letter to the first taxing district regarding the dam plan, and highlighted a number of issues just to make sure we're on record showing concern. And we received, and I think I sent out a copy of this, we received a response from the first taxing district's attorney informing us that we do not have jurisdiction with regards to dam repairs. I asked the first selectman to query legal counsel, and legal counsel did say that DEEP has authority with regards to all wetlands type projects. Where the question lies is not so much repairing the dam, but with regards to the 1,500-foot wall and berm. So I believe that those questions continue to be in place, but the ability of the Conservation Commission to call the first taxing district in to publicly discuss the project appears limited.
Well, a lot of it depends to me on how they classify that, because you're right. It's the stuff we're really concerned about isn't dam repair.
Yeah.
It's on beyond that.
Yeah. In fact, what it is it's a capacity increase. What I believe is what this project does.
So how they classify it, you know, probably affects our ability to weigh in on it.
Yeah, it's just a continuation, I guess, of how these things seem to be put through, and it's one that I'm constantly puzzled by, that we have 3 reservoirs over 660 acres held by water companies, and we have virtually no say in how they're operated. And yet the opposite is true. If you live near one of the reservoirs and you want to make a modification to your outdoor patio, they can come in and tell you, no, you can't do that, kind of thing. So
I think a lot of the issue here is transparency.
yeah,
It's, and if I would just put this back to the taxing district, knowing the taxing district people, I'm not sure what kind of luck we would have, but they need to develop a better community relationship. They are very dependent on the decisions and the public perceptions of the water company in New Canaan. And they've been very dismissive of that.
yep.
And I just think, I think it might be, the approach should not be, this is not legal issues. This is about how you operate, what you need from us and what we want from you. Back to your point, they own a lot of property here, but they also have a big population of extremely powerful and well-resourced people around their properties. They should be thinking about this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we need to give a thought collectively of how we will I think your point is exactly right. It's how we will increase the level of transparency
Yes.
the 3 water companies have, and tell them it's not to tell them how to run the business. It's to let the community understand what they're trying to accomplish and what they
Yes.
serve. So it's just like any other household or citizen that held land in New Canaan. They would, you'd want to you'd want to share a little bit of what you're doing. You'd have a concern for how New Canaan is doing as a whole. So,
But I think the other important point here is that this water company does not serve New Canaan. It serves Norwalk. It's a taxing district. And so you can't just sort of rape one community in order to serve another tax base or ratepayer base.
right.
Because you're going to have a problem. It's going to be a big problem.
And it is a great point. I think they always point out that they serve New Canaan, but I think it's
But they don't.
It's like 72 households, who-
Yeah, they don't.
It's right.
Do we have any, does Pura have a chance to weigh in on this or not? The public utility folks that, it's separate from Conservation Commission. I'm talking about somebody who provides a forum.
Regulatory Commission.
Right, for this kind of feedback.
Right.
Well, I think we're going to have to explore that, because going directly to any of them tends to lead to a dismissive legal response. And engaging with them has always proved difficult. So I'd like to continue this discussion, table it for now, but simply point out that of all the commissions, the Conservation Commission should be the lead in explaining the importance of water resources and managing the quality of our water resources, the quality of our streams and rivers. And to do so, we need to really get the participation of the three big landholders who control the flow, the outflow of these rivers through their various reservoirs. So I think Susan, you made a great point, and I think that's building to a position where we might be able to reach out to them or via Pura as to how we, say, there's been a big lesson here. There are a lot of people very concerned about the Group Reservoir project up and down Valley Road and beyond. Birders, naturalists, herpetologists. I mean, the list of attendees on those conference calls was quite large. So I'm encouraged, but I'm also would say, Cam, we dealt with Pura when we worked on the Indian Waters Drive issue. And we tend to find that DEEP and Pura tend to work with the utility and not necessarily with the local interest. So it's a challenge how we finally break through there. And I was hoping we had a little more power than simply, no, you don't have jurisdiction. It might say so in the statute, but there's a higher jurisdiction than yours. So.
Right. I mean, I still think it's a worthwhile exercise to make them go on record to say the ridiculous things that they need to say, rather than just conceding at every, like, okay. Because the points that some of the things that they try to do or have tried to do are kind of beyond the pale as far as I'm concerned. And it's nice to have them actually get up there and have to justify it and state it and listen to
Listen to people in New Canaan who will attend a public meeting if we ever could hold a public meeting.
Right, and that totally, I think, would prove Susan's point that that they are a little bit out of touch.
Yeah, and happily so, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for bringing that up, Susan, and the point you made. On Bristow, just a quick update for you all, and I hope whenever you get a chance to take a walk in there, the progress is moving pretty quickly now. To start with, the Pollinator Pathway fundraiser, which was a Sustainable Connecticut initiative, is complete. 10,000 was raised, and it'll be matched by 10,000. We are going through the final financial verifications with the organization Sustainable Connecticut and Patronicity. And the hope is within the next 2 to 3 weeks, the funds. We do have 12 months to complete the Pollinator Pathway project, and more detailed planting plans are now in development. And the issue will be, do we move ahead with certain portions of it now in the fall quickly, or are we better off going a little slow and then coming at it harder in the spring? So the good news is we have 12 months from October 15th to complete. And I'd shared it with some people who are big in pollinator pathways, Patrick Cummins from CT Audubon, and he's like, he thinks that it's a tremendous gain to have that kind of funding to work in pollinator planting. So very good news there. Second piece of good news was...
Before you leave that,
yes.
I think it would be really nice to have some kind of a public piece out there about how many people contributed and the actual huge diversity of the contributions. People who just did, they gave $25,
Yeah.
and it made a big difference.
I did send a letter to the editor. I think it was published in today's Advertiser. I'm down at the shore, so I'm not certain, but I think the letter was in, and I tried to say, a range of contributors, but I didn't break down the detail of it. Maybe what I could do is make sure that the patronicity thing is in our website, the Conservation Commission, but your point's a good one. I did highlight, I started with, I think there were as many as 60 different patrons for the project. I can confirm that. 58 different patrons supported it, which is quite good. And the ranges, the contribution ranges were, from $25 or $10 or $25. Some people at the public session just gave $10, but the range was from $25 to the town contribution as well. So hopefully that I do think also that the New Canaanite might run a story on it as well, and maybe there I can. If they run it, I'll put a comment in on it about how many different people and how much different range of gifts were there. So thanks, Susan. The second point I was going to make was that on Tuesday, the Board of Selectmen approved a $30,000 pond dredging project to dredge the closed water, I guess it's called the closed water pond. And then use the tailings to bring them right across into the wildflower meadow space. That was very exciting to get that done, and it was done. We're still within the entire capital plan and budget, so adding that in is a good step forward. Two other points I'd like to make. I'm in contact now with Connecticut Audubon to get specification on large capacity bird feeders and about 5 bird feeders, 8 different bird houses, and also a diversity of bird food that we would lay in over the winter months and get organized. And I know Marty isn't on the phone, but Marty has contributed directly to support the bird projects and bird efforts that we've are undertaking. And then one last point, which is very charming, is Nancy Harding, who is the granddaughter of Stephen Hoyt, organized a New Canaan High School class, and I'm going to guess she's class of 55 or something like that, but organized a high school class fundraiser for one of their colleagues, and they've contributed $1,250 to place a pretty nice sized white oak on the parcel, and the placement of that was agreed, I think, yesterday or picked out by Bill Pollock, who's the landscape architect. So different parties are contributing into this effort, and it's been a very satisfying. I would say this week has been a very satisfying week. Get the dredging, the funding, and some more gifts in. Can I answer any questions, or are there any points of discussion regarding Bristow Park at this moment?
No, you don't have to dredge anything. You just have to bring in a big rake.
Yeah.
There's no water there.
Right. Fortunately, yeah, it's dewatering. It filled up a little bit, but it dewaters pretty quickly, and then they're just going to muck it out. And I don't think it'll take very long at all. But they're also going to armor around it by bringing in some more stone boulders to keep the banks up. So it might make it a better pool.
Good. Yeah.
We could plant some iris.
Yeah. We got to get the right iris for it. But that's not, again, that's all within our means to do it. And I would say that we received donations to the Friends of Bristow Park at the Community Foundation, not only for the pollinator pathway, but direct donations, I believe, of almost $50,000 in the past 3 months to support the softscape aspect of what we're trying to accomplish at Bristow. So very, very encouraged where we're going. And I think it will turn out to be a very good a public project with private support. Any other questions regarding Bristow Park and the pollinator pathway?
No, I'm good.
Good. Okay. And then finally, Kim had reached out to Aaron with regards to updating the open space report. Cam, I'm going to work with what you wrote, and I'm going to, I believe we set aside in the Conservation Commission, we have to, compensate the land trust for putting this data together into a package.
Yeah.
We want to get that package updated and then officially submitted, and that will also, get us in position for the POCD that's coming up, the pre-planning cycle. I don't know, Lynn, if you're still on, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What is your understanding of the planning cycle? Because we'll come up with a new POCD to be published in 2024. When do you build up for that? Is it you start in 2023 or?
I think the original plan was to start thinking about budgeting in this cycle, but I don't know if that's going to happen because of COVID and all the community outreach that's going to happen. So I'm sort of holding to get guidance from what other communities are doing. Right now, there's a 90-day extension across the state for anyone whose POCD expired in this 2020 pandemic. So I'm just sort of holding to find out what would happen, but I typically would have planned for it to start budgeting a year or two before it would run.
Well, I'm very conscious of that project, and all of us as conservation commissioners want to be as helpful and have as much input into that as possible with good data, with good observations. So that we really kind of make it a plan of conservation and development. We get that balance into it, with thoughtful thinking. And I think a lot of the Sustainable Connecticut projects will help add to that story. So, and add to the goals.
Yes.
With that, I do not have any other points on my agenda, and would ask if there are any other comments or messages you all would like to place. It sounds like we're complete, and so it is now 7:13, and with your support, I'd like to adjourn the meeting. Is everyone okay with that?
Seconded.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm good.
Yep.
Thank
Okay.
you. Okay, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
This is
Thank you,
Tucker.
Claire.
I'll end the
Appreciate
meeting
it.
now.
Okay, yeah, Tucker can close the meeting off now.
Yep. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.